JJK Modulo, manga chapter 19. This chapter is really fun, so let's get right into it. So first, we started off with Maharaga versus Deborah, and from last chapter 18, basically we left off with Deborah. Basically, he was getting his butt kicked, and it wasn't going too well for him. But he was kind of having one of those like hero awakening moments where he was saying that although he had never lost a fight. He had really never been tested. So Maharaga is like the first person to really test him. And we leave off kind of right here where his eye is awakening and he's ready to go. And it's pretty cool because so really the only ability that we see from Deborah is like this light speed attack. And the cool thing about JJK is they follow the laws of physics pretty well, which I guess it's JJK physics, but they don't try to bend stuff too much. So Deborah's moving at light speed, right? But most animes would just ignore that and they would just say, oh, they're moving at light speed. There's no, they're just able to do it. But obviously, like when all these different things, wind and all that, are going to be a factor. And so he basically says like once he gets up to light speed, the air starts to feel like you're moving through water or like liquid. So I thought that was pretty cool, just because there are drawbacks to once you start doing crazy things like that. But yeah, so we kind of see him just constantly. I don't know what he's doing. Are these laser blaster? Is he speed blitzing Maharaga? I'm not too sure. Y'all can let me know. Um, but yeah, so he's kind of enjoying this, and Deborah's just going all out. And the cool thing about Maharaga is, he can't just go away. He keeps adapting, and that's what the Deborah says is like we can kind of see that he takes longer to adapt to really complicated jujutsu techniques, but he can still do it rather than like just physical stuff. But if Deborah can't obliterate Maharaga, I don't really know what he's gonna do because Maharaga just keeps adapting, and I don't see unless Deborah's gonna have like this breakout, like like one of those like Goku Super Saiyan 1 things. Um, I don't know. I think he might be cooked, but I don't see them killing off Deborah this quick, so he's got to somehow beat Maharaga. But he's clearly met his match, and I kind of don't like what they're doing with him already. Just this right over here is we kind of see Deborah as like this really cool, quiet, like he can beat anybody. But they're kind of I don't know what they're depicting over here, but we kind of get this shot of Deborah's lost in, kind of like just the fantasy of battle, and his leg is like cooked to oblivion. Like there's nothing left on that thing, and he basically just says, "I like this thing's kind of just getting in the way. Should I just cut it off?" And he talks about, the Jujutsu sorcerers of Earth and how he doesn't understand like the reverse curse technique, which is pretty funny, and it shows just how advanced. And he gives credit to how advanced Earth's sorcerers are. So that was honestly pretty cool to see. But you can see Maharaga is giving Deborah the work, and I wasn't expecting this. The way that they have been building up Deborah, even though it's a short amount of time, I really thought that he was just going to be like insane. Which I'm going to keep saying this. People kept saying Deborah was Gojo level, was Sakuna level, and I'm coming to a point where we can just say absolutely not. We got to stop that because that's crazy. I think Gojo and Sakuna would absolutely mop him unless something changes. Obviously, the fight's still going, but this is where things get crazy. First, let's just address. I completely forgot this guy's name right here. He's a Sumerian, but he's kind of the guy in the background who he clearly doesn't like Earthlings. He's trying to push his own narrative. Like I'm sure he just wants to take over like the Earth pretty much and just start making the move for his people. And he wants to do it however he wants. So he's like the guy in the background, like kind of pushing people to do the Sumerians to kind of do stuff. I mean, this whole situation honestly is his fault, and so he's just kind of pushing everything, and so he's just going to continue to play that character, as we know. Um, and then we get here's the awesome moment is we finally get to see Yuji, and he's using a blood manipulation technique, which is obviously Choso's, which I didn't know. I guess I completely forgot he could do that. because we didn't really get to see him do that much. You know, he was just until like the last thing I remember was his domain expansion against Sukuna. But yeah, we really didn't see like that much from him. But clearly he's next level because he's talking about like, oops, I overdid it. And hopefully you read it already because I can't put all the manga panels on here. But right here you can see that he's basically like just blown out the entire building. And then some of the other pictures, kind of like this one, if you read it or if you just want to open it right here, you'll see that he kind of like just pierced everybody. So I don't know if he was just like no cares given, but yeah, I don't think he killed them, but he definitely injured everybody in that building, which is pretty crazy. And that was all we saw from him. Now I assume we know Maharaga can't go away unless one of them dies. So my predictions for chapter 20 is either Deborah somehow manages to kill Maharaga, Maharaga kills Deborah, very highly unlikely, or maybe Yuji goes over there and stops the battle. Um, Maybe they retcon something and somehow, yeah, but I don't think Shuri's sister can. You don't think they'd kill her off that quick, right? So maybe they find a way to, the workaround for the Maharaga summon. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm sure Yuji will just use reverse curse technique. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, hopefully chapter 20 we'll get the wrap up of that and maybe get to see Yuji versus the Bora or Maharaga, which I think at this point Yuji's just gonna mop Maharaga immediately if he decides to go that route. But we'll have to wait and find out. I believe the next chapter is in 7 days, so I'll be back next Monday in order to drop chapter 20. But just make sure to read it on Sunday. They should drop every Sunday for us in the US. Um, and then we'll come back here and just go over it. And eventually I'll try to do these lives and then cut it into videos, but I just got to get a little bit bigger for that first. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I appreciate it and hope everybody has a great day.